So Harold Macmillan said that what mattered in politics is events, dear boy, events. Things are happening all the time. Just when you think it's going to go quiet, or the election cycle has come to an end, new issues bubble up very quickly, because there's an ongoing battle each and every single day between the globalists who are seeking to destroy our nations, who are seeking to replace the indigenous peoples of the West with third world immigrants. They want to dispossess us, take our land off us, and restructure our land, make our land something totally different. It will no longer be our land. This is ongoing every day. We see the immigrants are still pouring in record numbers. We see mosque building is reaching record levels right across Europe. We see that the indigenous populations are being oppressed and shackled by new legislation against so-called hate crime. That's anyone who speaks the truth about what's going on. But we're not bereft, because we have parties and political forces which are claiming territory. This is the counterattack. I mean, you know, Matteo Salvini is doing a great job in Italy. He's really stirred the Italian people to reclaim their nation and to put their borders back up, because Italy, under the Social Democrats, was being invaded from Africa, and the Italians have woken up to that reality, and they're fighting back superbly. They're rediscovering their sense of identity, their sense of history, their culture. They are Italians, Italiano. And they're proud of that, because it's a great, glorious civilization. It's blessed the whole world. We don't want to see Italy disappear or just become a globalist mishmash. We want the real Italy to re-emerge and to enforce itself. And it's the same process as happening in Germany with the AfD. Now, it's a harder struggle there because they play on this guilt complex from the Second World War, which doesn't apply to the modern German people. The Second World War was just an interlude in German history. Pretty sad one, pretty devastating one. But German history goes back thousands of years. The Germans are a great people. Again, they contributed so much to the world. They're a nation that has invented so many things and produced so many great things. And we see in Germany's neighbour, Poland, the Law and Justice Party, they've stirred the Polish people. They've given their Polish people a sense of pride again, a sense of control of their own destiny. And you could see the joy in the rally in Warsaw, the nationalist rally. Hundreds of thousands of people, 300,000 people turned up to celebrate Polish independence, to show their pride in their nation. It's good to be proud of your nation. It's good to be proud of your history. It's good to want your nation to go forward to greater glories. Because not only does that bless the people of the nation, it blesses the whole world. Western civilization has been the blessing on the world. I mean, the other civilizations, they haven't promoted human rights or liberty. They haven't truly advanced technology and living standards the way the West have, and promoted the ideas of democracy. These are really important things that we've given to the world. We don't want to lose these. The globalists will take this away from us. It would take our sense of identity and our sense of belonging and our sense of feeling that we're part of an unfolding history. They'll take that away from us. And we'll just become minions of the global elite. And we don't want to do that, because we know there'll be an enormous loss from that. The European people are a very capable and creative people. And we need to reinvigorate each nation of Europe. The nations are crucial. We need to higher birth rates. We need to strengthen the family again. We need to strengthen our spirituality, our interior life. The churches, the mainstream churches, have become very lame. We must reinvigorate them. We must have this sense of destiny again, that we are a Christian people under God. This is so important, especially when the forces that are coming against us, especially from the Islamic world, are bringing an alternative spirituality into our nations, a very threatening one, because Sharia law doesn't respect the liberty that we have, doesn't respect that the people have the right to make the laws. Yes, we have our Christian heritage, and yes, we respect the truths of the Bible, but we have the right to interpret them as we see fit for our nations. This is what we have in the West. Islam doesn't think like that. Islam wants to subjugate people to Sharia law. It's a very dangerous ideology. So we have to awake to that threat. But we have to wake to just the threat that we're being replaced in our nation. This is deliberate. Diversity is destruction. It's the deliberate destruction of our nations. But we're fighting back against that. It won't just be plain sailing. We have enormous opposition. We've seen this in the recent elections in America, the midterms. Yes, the Republican Party was galvanized and it won seats in the Senate. But the Democrat Party, the globalist party, the anti-American party, they can still mobilize a very powerful base. And they have huge, wealthy donors who can finance that campaign. So we have really formidable opponents out there. And they lost out a bit in 2016 with the Brexit vote and with Trump winning the White House, but they haven't given up. They're coming back at us now. They were a bit shocked by the victories of the Patriots, or the Nationalists, if you like. I have no problem calling myself a nationalist because I love my nation. I mean, there can be pathological forms of nationalism, just as there can be pathological forms of any ideology. But nationalism is a good, valid, it's a healthy ideology to love and respect your nation and want your nation to prosper. It knits us together as a people. It gives us a sense of a community. It gives us a sense of control. And that's very important. The people have to be engaged in the political process. And patriotism is a key means to achieve that. So this battle, this ongoing struggle between globalism and nationalism is working out every day across the West. And we're called to choose sides. The political landscape is polarised. It's not left against right anymore. It's not socialist against capitalist. It's people who value their inheritance, their cultural inheritance, and their traditions against those who want to just push us aside and replace everything we have which we value. For me, it's a life or death struggle. And we have to wake up to that and join in the battle in any way we can. Get yourself informed through the social media. The mainstream media is a joke. It's in the hands of the globalists. Well, in America, there's a little bit of a sort of nationalist mainstream media, but not in Europe. In Europe, the mainstream media is just one-dimensional. It promotes the globalist ideology. Turn it off. Don't absorb it. Don't listen to it. Forget about the BBC. Forget about Sky News. They're a waste of time. It's just brainwashing. It's just manipulation. It's just pushing the lies of the enemy in a very subtle and very clever way, though, because these people are professionals. No, we have the social media. Even though the social media, they're trying to get control of it, it's a democratic forum. We can bubble up in different ways. We can have our voices heard in so many alternative ways through social media. They can't shut us down. They'll try to, but the internet can't be closed. And we've got to make use of that. We've got to educate each other, teach each other the truths of nationalism, teach each other there is an alternative narrative to the globalist narrative, that we have to surrender our sovereignty to the EU or the United Nations or any of these controlling internationalist organisations. So educate yourself each day, educate each other and engage in the battle. It's a political battle and the politics is central to it all. We need governments that speak for the people again, and they're happening all over the world, and we want them to happen in Britain as well. Subscribe to this channel. If you can donate, make a contribution. There's a PayPal link in the description, and together we will overcome. This is our heart. We will continue to struggle, and we will go on to victory. Of that, I am sure.